Well, here we are in the middle of October, and with October comes a special holiday we all know and love. That's right, Halloween. And what better thing to review on Halloween than the original Halloween? That's right, John Carpenter, 1978, Michael Myers. We're doing it all tonight, babe. On a very William Shatner-faced edition of the Review. He's pure evil.
Welcome to the Review, a show where two small-town dudes will give you our big spooky opinions. I'm Troy to the Max Extreme.
I'm... Well,
Boo!
let me pull up the name. I'm Ben Tramer. That was me all along.
What are you talking about, Ben Tramer?
The guy from Halloween. That she was scared that was...
Oh, I got it.
Oh, no, you didn't. Tell me you didn't. Ben Tramer. Tell me you didn't. We're already going inside jokes on this one.
We're going deep.
We're already
in
going
Halloween
deep.
already.
We're already going deep.
We need to dip in our toes first. We need to get into some news quick before we get into this hot Halloween classic. Hot Halloween classic. JT, I got a bit of Netflix news to start off the bat.
Okay.
Before we get into some big screen news, I got some small screen news.
Tell me you didn't.
Iron Fist has been canceled. It's
Yep.
been put to bed.
Just
No more.
Yep.
Tis kaput.
Took the pillow and put it over its head.
Right.
And then waited until he stopped squirming.
That's right. Now, it's weird that they did this, because they don't have to say they canceled it. They could just not do another one.
Yeah. But they went another way to be like, don't worry, we're not doing another one of these.
Right. Now, I haven't watched any of Iron Fist 2 yet, which
I haven't.
probably says a lot.
I've
being
heard
that they canceled
I've
it.
heard that it's better. I got 3 episodes in, and I was like, I can see this is better, but it's still that slog.
Right.
That fucking Netflix Marvel slog where it feels like they have to go through the motions of stupid bullshit for 3 to 4 episodes before they actually start doing stuff that's interesting to watch.
Which is bad, because they already cut 3 episodes from this season.
Yeah.
So how much story did they really have to tell over 10 episodes?
Exactly.
Come on.
Just
come on.
come on.
Well, with that cancellation, it's bringing a lot of people to say, well, with that new Disney streaming service, is this a thing yet to be shown that all of the Marvel stuff will be pulled off Netflix?
Yeah.
But Netflix CCO says nay!
I've come to the rescue!
Netflix Marvel is here to stay. The CCO, Ted Sarandos, maybe I said his name right, I'm not sure. He said these is a quote.
Yes.
Solid quote from him. These shows are for us to cancel, and we're super happy with their performance so far.
Disney can't do shit!
That's right. Well, at this point, Netflix is pretty big.
Yeah.
Not Disney big, but heck, it's up there, babe.
Yeah. Well, that Daredevil Season 3 is coming out pretty soon.
Uh-huh.
I think it's like this Friday, I think.
Oh, yeah, I think it is, because there's already been, like,
There's been, like, 2 trailers for it. Somehow we've forgotten to talk about them every time they've come out. But they've had, like, 2 trailers out already.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen...
Yeah, I think I've probably seen both of them.
Yeah. So
seen
what
the
do you
last
think
one.
of Daredevil Season 3? What it looks like?
Looks good.
I think it looks really good.
It
It looks more like the original Netflix stuff that we loved when it first started.
Right. And I think there's already been, like, pre-screenings of it. Like, people get, like, the test screeners of it.
Yeah.
And they have been getting positive marks.
Okay.
So Maybe we'll do that. Maybe it'll give it a few weeks.
Yeah.
Before maybe it'll be like a Monday ep. Or
we'll
something.
do like a Monday ep 3 weeks in advance.
Yeah, that's right.
3 weeks down the road.
But
I'm that one I'm more curious to see because they're bringing Bullseye in, and
Wilson Fisk is back.
Fisk is back, and I always thought Wilson Fisk was like a really interesting character because it's like he's a piece of shit that thinks that he's actually a good person.
Right, right.
So
and
I love that.
Hopefully, I don't know how many episodes this one's gonna be. I didn't see, but if they're doing like a Wilson Fisk Bullseye thing, not that I'm saying it's gonna be like the Affleck movie or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it won't have that weird split in the season where they'll just do something here for the first 10 eps or not 7 eps, and then the rest of it will be completely
and even
different.
if they do that, it'll be connected in some way because it does look like Bullseye's working for Wilson Fisk.
Right. But even with like the latest season of Luke Cage and even like Jessica Jones, they seem to like remedy that a little bit.
Yeah.
They have a little bit more connective tissue.
Yeah.
Whereas the first few seasons of stuff was like totally split.
Mm-hmm.
But there you go.
We will see.
Yeah, we will see. But on with more Netflix cancellation news. There's a rumor out there that JT, your favorite, Fuller House may be getting canceled.
No.
After this
what's gonna happen?
Upcoming season 4.
They have 4 seasons already?
Well, the 4th one will be starting soon.
Oh, Jesus.
And I guess there's a lot of hot animosity in the writer's room for the showrunner. Because I guess he's just been hiring people he sleeps with. So
this is amazing.
So I guess it's been a little point of contention in the writer's room.
God, I can't believe I work for Major Guns.
Yeah. So there's that.
I'm currently working under 4 penthouse playmates.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
In more superhero news, but still on the small screen, JT.
Yeah.
CW maybe, if rumor has it correctly, adding another show to their superhero lineup.
Just call it the superhero channel from now on. They play nothing else now.
Don't they have enough shows for every day of the week so far?
They probably have enough shows to do 2 a week. Or 2 a day.
But the reportedly in development at CW is going to be the Superman television show, featuring the Superman they introduced in Supergirl last season or so. It's just a rumor, but that could be a thing.
I thought I saw something where they were like, oh, they're going to introduce Lois Lane in the latest Arrow crossover. What the fuck is happening?
Yeah. I'm going to check out that crossover event. I guess Arrow just debuted this newest season this week. I guess they did something nuts. I guess Oliver Queen's in jail or something.
Yeah, I guess I read some... Yeah, I was reading some shit where, I guess they're getting really risque with this next season. There's going to be, a bunch of blood and shit.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
I thought the first season of Arrow was pretty risque, and then they seem to be tamed down a little bit to, match tone with the Flash, maybe?
Yeah.
But even I don't know. The Flash is fun, and Arrow can be something completely different, so...
Yeah.
But I guess if we're going to do those crossovers, it's not going to be so
you
harsh.
can't have Oliver Queen shooting people in the neck while Flash is, pushing people real fast.
Right.
It's look at this, I just wrangle up a bunch of guys with a rope. I just killed 4 people. Holy shit!
Well, what number would that make? It'd be Arrow.
Jesus.
Flash, Black Lightning, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow.
Batwoman is coming out too.
Is she getting her own show, right?
I think she is.
Yeah, I think Batwoman. Am I missing one? Technically iZombie is a comic property. Riverdale. And then I guess Superman. That's 9.
There you go.
So there are some 2-a-days.
2-a-days in there.
I feel like I'm missing one. Maybe I'm not, but...
See Legends of Tomorrow?
Yeah, I said Legends of Tomorrow.
Lord.
Anyway, that's a lot.
CW is
Dare
just
to defy, man.
yeah, they're just getting butt fucked by comic books. They're just all
DC
over the
is
place.
blowing their load. If they don't even have, they even have their own streaming app, which Titans just debuted,
Yeah.
and I guess that's been getting okay marks too.
Okay.
But I don't know. Like, I'm gonna probably hop on board that DC app once the Swamp Thing the show comes on.
Yeah.
Because I guess they're gonna stay pretty close to the book, which is pretty good.
All right.
So I'll see.
I'm not gonna do.
Well, I figured, but I'll tell you.
The closest I'll probably come is I might look into that Disney app, depending on how much it's worth when it comes out.
Guarantee you the Disney app is going to be a thing at my house.
Yeah. I'm sure it will be too, because Molly's super obsessed with all those movies, and
Yeah.
like if we have something where you can watch any of them at the tip of your finger, she'll be like, if we have to
Yeah.
throw away 2 apps to get this one, we're gonna get this one.
Yeah.
Like, shit.
Just add it to the fucking stack.
Yep.
More small screen news, JT. This may be a bit of a downer.
It's a big TV week.
Depending on what your thoughts are on this, but Sesame Street is leaving, or no, I'm sorry. Sesame Street is saying goodbye to one of their longest running performers. Carol Spinney
Yeah.
is retiring after 50 years as playing Big Bird
Oh wow.
and Oscar the Grouch.
I want to say, from the episodes you watch of Sesame Street, it sounds like Big Bird is like too old for this shit. Big Bird's like that Danny Glover of Sesame Street. Like every time Big Bird shows up, it's just like, fuck, whatever, man. Just get me out of here.
I was reading up a little bit on it, and I guess in 2016, he had like he actually didn't go in the suit after that, but he did the voice.
Yeah.
And he had his understudy in the suit or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be taking place, I think, after this season. I'm not sure, because he started in 1969. And
God.
he's been there since.
Yeah.
But, like, I've watched a lot of Sesame Street lately.
Oh, yeah.
And
You're like a connoisseur.
That's right. I've noticed a lot of acting ticks in Big Bird since his little humble beginnings as a large bird that is an imaginary friend named Snuffy that nobody else can see, which now everyone can see, and can't lift his
The
head
writing
yet.
has just gone downhill on
It's
Sesame
really
Street.
taking
I
a
tell ya.
shit. But what I'm trying to say is, like, Big Bird used to be, like, happy and, like, spry and go lucky, and now he is, like, literally just sad all the time, and it's a big bummer when it's a Big Bird-centric episode. Like, where is Elmo at this point? Please, God, I'm getting sad.
Big Bird is like a closet nihilist. It's
Like, literally one of the latest episodes, I don't know if it maybe in the last couple years, Big Bird was like, I want to join the Cool Birds Club or whatever. And then
a cult?
And then these birds shun him for being different. And he gets sad about it. I'm like, this stinks.
I want to go and join this group called the Jim Jones Army. Want to go down to somewhere in South America and drink some Kool-Aid and die with thousands.
Stupid Big Bird. You stink, Big Bird.
Big Bird is...
But Carol Spinney, good long career there. Yeah. Made a real name for yourself.
Get out while you still can.
Playing a big
Carol
sad
Spinney.
bird.
Jesus.
And the last bit of news I got, JT, so you better load up your news right now.
Hey-o.
Is that Spider-Man Far From Home has wrapped filming, principal photography.
Oh, boy.
As of, I think, a couple days ago. And what I did not, I think I missed this comment last week, but have you noticed that he has a different costume?
Really?
Instead of the old red and blues, he'll be a little bit of the red and black. His blue parts will be all black instead.
Well, red and black, that's more accustomed to the Miles Morales.
A little bit, yes. But it's still the classic. It's exactly like the Civil War suit or the Homecoming suit, except the blue swapped out with black.
Yeah.
But he did have a run in the comics where that was his look, so And who knows? Maybe they'll CG over it, which they did in like all the other movies
probably.
too. So, who knows, JT?
Who knows?
Nobody does. But anyway, that's all of my news.
Gotcha, Troy. Well, I got some more small screen news, Troy. It's been a
my
big
God.
big TV week.
Big TV.
Orange is the New Black.
Oh my.
You know, I keep up with it.
Yep.
I know you weren't a big fan.
I didn't make it past the second episode.
Yeah. But for all those fans of it, season 7 will be its last season.
Oh man.
Its upcoming season 2019 will be the last season of Orange is the New Black.
How is Orange is the New Black? That felt like it's been on forever, and it's only in 7 seasons.
Yeah?
And Fuller House seems like it just started last year.
I know.
4.
That's why I'm surprised it was at 4. It's like, did they do 2 seasons in 1 year?
They had to have.
Yeah, it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah. Anyway.
But I kind of see it coming, though, because that last season they did, it felt like they were kind of wrapping things up on that last season.
For
Orange is the New Black.
Okay.
Yeah. So it makes sense that that next season is going to be their last season. But it's a big show. A lot of people talk about it.
That's right. Not me, though.
Not you.
Not me so much, but...
You could give a fuck.
I heard it's great.
It's good.
I believe you.
It's good.
I believe you.
I enjoyed it.
Just can't do it. Can't do it.
Troy, you still looking forward to that Flash movie?
Is it happening?
Apparently, it's still happening. It was supposed to come out in 2019.
That is
Not happening
That
now.
is not happening.
It has now been pushed back to 2021.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
So,
Wasn't it supposed to be actually happening, first of all, like last year?
I think it was, yeah.
At this point?
This is just like the thing they just like, yeah, we'll do it later.
God.
So there you go. Yeah, so Barry Allen's going to be like a 40-year-old man by the time they film this fucking Flash movie.
No shit.
And staying on the DC train, Warner Brothers has a little bit of rumor. Warner Brothers has actually talked that they are done with Superman for the time being.
Okay.
Now that Henry Cavill is gone kaputs,
Yeah.
they're just like, fuck it.
He's on the outskis.
And yeah, maybe they're gonna focus more on these outskirts type characters with their upcoming films.
Okay.
Like they're still doing the Batman one, I guess.
Sure, Matt Reeves is maybe still
Yeah. So I don't know. It feels weird that they're just like scrapping, because like Batman's been done so much. You think they would try and like out of the two, you would think they would go more try and do a new Superman as opposed to a new Batman. Because Batman's been done so much.
Yeah, but Batman puts butts in seats, though.
He does, but I think if Superman's done right, he could put probably more butts in seats.
Yeah, he's the like most popular superhero ever.
Yeah. But it's just like they just don't know what to do with him.
I know.
Or if they do something with him, it's just like they get someone that's just like, I want to make him angsty and hate the world.
Because, like, I don't know what the producer's thoughts are on it. You know what I mean? Because Snyder came in and had his own take on it.
Yeah.
Which, love it or hate it, I thought Man of Steel was okay. But, like, further down the line, I thought his take on this universe was a little darker than I needed. Like, not everyone needs to be Batman, you know?
Yeah.
And the only story they usually ever tell is like an origin story. I feel like that's what they would do again, because like everyone feels comfortable with that story.
I mean, with the Man of Steel, they tried to do a story that wasn't the origin. Like they threw in bits and pieces of it, but he was still like older, and like all the things they did in terms of an origin were kind of like flashbacks.
Right, but it still was, the movie was his like Superman's first day.
True. Yeah. Yeah, it was like his, I found my suit.
Yeah. And then he's like, I guess I better fight Zod now. I'll just break his neck.
Yeah, fuck it.
It was my first day.
Yeah. Don't hate me, I tried.
Quotes from Man of Steel. We love them.
Yeah, what a movie. Good movie.
So I don't know. I mean, but I can also see them like letting go of him, because if they've got other things down the pipeline already trying to get started, then why keep them on board.
Yeah.
To wait for 8 years.
Yeah, and with the whole trend of Marvel, like, really deep diving into a lot of these characters that they have, like, why not, like, try and deep dive, like, DC try and deep dive and try and find, like, some interesting characters that people aren't really familiar with, but could be interesting given the right script.
Right. I mean, you're seeing, like, Aquaman. I never thought ever I'd see an Aquaman movie.
Yeah,
and,
you
like,
got Aquaman, you got Shazam
ever
coming
I'd
out.
see a Shazam movie.
Yeah, Shazam and Suicide Squad 2
Yeah.
with an actual competent director. Like, I even, like, read something where they were, like, talking about just completely rebooting it now that James Gunn is going to be, like, redoing it.
Fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Just be like, oh, yeah, they still call it Suicide Squad 2, but it's like the events of the first one never happened.
Or they just do a last time on Suicide Squad, and they just don't show anything. It's just made up things.
Yeah. We're a team. And now into the...
Oh, shit. Slipknot died. All right.
Oh, shit. So there you go. Troy. Netflix, back in the Netflix train.
Yes.
Apparently they are in the process of making a Dracula miniseries.
What?
And to perk your ears a little bit more, it is being made by the producers and creators of the BBC show Sherlock.
Oh, okay. I am interested.
So there you go.
Did you ever see the last season of Sherlock?
No, I think I watched up until the episode when Moriarty dies. Spoiler, and then Sherlock acts like he committed suicide or something.
That was like the end of the
season. It was like end of like season 2 or 3, I think. And then after that, like I tried to watch the episode after that, but it was like it felt weird.
Okay.
Where they like the whole episode didn't have Sherlock in it at all. It was just Watson being like, oh, something's not right here. I feel like Sherlock's still alive, but I don't know. And then there's just like these small things being thrown at him here and there where it's like, only Sherlock would know that. I don't know what's going on. And I was like, this feels weird.
Got it. Well, shucks. Shucks.
Shucks. But no, I'm interested in a Dracula series. I think Dracula's a pretty interesting character.
Yeah. Sure.
And yeah, that's all my news.
All right. Very good. Very good. Well, is that beer done?
It's close to done.
You know what else is done?
These fucking trailers, man. They're fucking movies.
These fucking
Put them out already.
That's a fucking
Put them
movie.
out, man. These fucking movies, man.
Fucking movies. What do you got for trailers, bruh?
Well, I've got 2. Or 3, actually.
Oh.
3.
I also have 3.
Okay. Do you want to start?
Nope.
Okay.
I want you to start.
Fair enough, dude. There is a trailer out for a smaller Nicole Kidman film called Destroyer.
Okay.
Which looks pretty interesting. It looks like she kind of does a Monsters Ball type scenario where she like Uggs herself up.
Okay.
And she I can't tell whether she plays like a cop undercover or she plays a cop who's dirty that's like robbing a bank.
Oh.
Like, it's one of those two, but it looks intense. So, I don't know.
I saw the thumbnail for this, but I didn't look into anything about it. I was like, see you later.
Yeah. I mean, it could be good. Yeah, yeah. You see this? Hear about this? Hear about this? But, I mean, I don't know. I'll probably listen for reviews or whatever and see if it's any good, but I don't know. She definitely Uggs herself up quite a bit.
All right.
So, you always know that's good.
Cheers to Uggin.
Yeah. Here's the Uggin. Cheers to the freaking weekend. I'll Ugg to that.
I'll Ugg to that. Classic.
And they also put out a teaser trailer for the live action Aladdin.
This is one of mine.
What do you think, Troy?
Oh, it looks like you're trying to choose your words wisely. I think it looks pretty faithful to the animated one.
Okay.
I feel as if I need to see more to make a firmer judgment call on it.
Yeah.
But I think it looks promising.
I need to see more for sure, but from what I saw, I'm not a fan.
Okay.
I don't think I like how Aladdin looks.
I think he looks okay.
He looks like he was like pulled out of like a theater troupe. Or it's just like it looks like a high school.
Getting all of this out of the
It's
teaser.
like the small bit of like that I see of Aladdin in his costume. He looks like he was like fresh out of a high school production of Aladdin.
Well, I'm not gonna say I completely disagree. But there's not a lot of to Aladdin. Just a vest and a fez.
Yeah.
And some hammer pants.
And it's not. There's not a lot to see. I mean, the lamp looks okay, I guess.
They go into that sand lion.
Yeah, and the sand lion doesn't even look like. I don't know. It just looks like a temple.
Yeah, I didn't figure it'd be actually a talking
Yeah, it wouldn't
one.
be an actual talking lion head coming out of the sand.
Right.
But I don't know. Aladdin is like probably my favorite Disney movie out of all of them. So
It needs to hit its marks.
yeah, this is the one where I'm going to be really critical of it.
I really wanted to see the genie.
I wanted to see the genie too. I want to see.
And I know they're
how
getting
fucked
off on
up-
withholding.
Yeah, I want to see how much Will Smith fucks up the genie.
Okay, so after I saw it, I was trying to think how they're going to do it. And I really think they are not going to try to recreate the Robin Williams one.
Yeah.
He's going to go and do his own thing. But I'm on the fence because that's why I really like Aladdin, is because of the genie and all of his antics and stuff.
Yeah.
But if I saw another take on it, I'd be like, good, but
Yeah.
I really liked that other one.
There's no way you can fucking match Robin Williams and his craziness. Like he was a literal insane person.
Uh-huh.
That's the only person that could make that work. Will Smith is insane in a completely different way.
Yeah.
Robin Williams is like mile a minute insane. Will Smith is like Scientology insane.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really need to see that.
Yeah.
I really need
That's
to
going to
see
be
it.
the make or break, I think, for the whole movie, is if Will Smith can find a way to convey the genie where it's like, it's different, but good.
Yep. I agree. So we'll see.
We
need to see that
will
first trailer.
definitely see.
What if they don't show any of the genie up until like the movie just comes out? They don't show it in any trailers or anything.
No. Oh no.
They only like tease it at the end like of
That'll
the trailer.
only be a sign that they have no faith in it then.
I know.
They'll be like, we can't show this to any... No one will see this movie if we show
my
this
God.
awful genie.
Oh boy. What else you got?
My last one is the newest trailer for Split, or not Split,
Glass. Yes.
that's coming
That's what
out.
I got too.
And I mean, I'm curious for it.
Uh-huh.
I do want to see it. I think this trailer makes it look better than the last one did. But I think we even talked about this when we like met up on Saturday. They are leaning real heavy into the whole like
superheroes.
Yeah, like you are superheroes. You think you're superheroes.
Yeah.
Super villains. We're the super villains. It's like, Jesus Christ. All right.
I mean, I know Unbreakable with Mr. Glass still had like a weird comic booky tangent.
Yeah.
But it didn't like lean so heavy into it.
Like the thing about Unbreakable was I liked that Mr. Glass was obsessed with the comic book origins of things, and that's what made him interested in Bruce Willis.
Uh-huh.
But in this, like, even the fucking doctors are like, you think you're comic book characters. It's like, you're doctors.
Yeah.
Like, why are you obsessed with comic books?
Oh my. And then just coming from Split too, that has nothing to
there's
do.
nothing to do with comic books.
It was
it's
like
just
a
guy
thriller.
Yeah, it's just a guy with a split personality.
I don't know, man.
It's weird.
I'm still excited to see it.
Yeah, I still want to see it, and I'm thinking for January, since not a lot's going on in January, you might do a dive into the Shyamalaniverse,
Okay.
which would be interesting. I haven't seen Unbreakable in forever.
I haven't either. I own it. Didn't we just recently do Split, or just one of us talk about it?
I think we individually talked about Split when we saw it. Like,
Okay.
I don't know what we've been watching.
Okay. Okay. But there's still some Shyamalan stuff I haven't seen yet either.
Yeah.
But they're probably going to be stinkers.
Yeah. I don't know. We might have to do some... I was just thinking of just doing Unbreakable and Split.
Okay.
But, I don't know. Maybe if we think of like some really good ones, if there's like some ones that stick out, we might do like some mini eps of like some good Shyamalans.
Okay.
But, I don't know.
Well, that's down the
That's down the pipeline, though. We don't have to worry about that now.
So
But yeah, Glass could be hit and miss for me.
yeah, same here. I'm on the same boat. The only other trailer I have is that I just randomly caught the preview trailer for the next season of Legends of Tomorrow,
Okay.
and it looks like they're going batshit insane with this. There is a murderous unicorn in this. There's a fairy godmother who's ready to stomp some asses. Like,
Does she say I'm ready to stomp some asses?
she says, I'm going to kick your ass or something in it. And she looks like the Cinderella fairy godmother.
Oh my god.
And there's a few characters. I haven't kept up with any of these CW shows, obviously.
Yeah.
Legend of Tomorrow, probably the least of. But there's other characters in this they must have introduced in previous seasons that I don't even know who they are anymore.
Yeah.
But now that Constantine guy is now on the show, the Matt Reeves Constantine guy.
Yeah.
He's like a staple of the show.
Oh wow.
He's never stopped being Constantine ever since his NBC show.
I mean, he's good.
He's good at it. And like once he got let off from there, he like guest starred in like Arrow, I think, for an episode or two. And then he like voices him every single animation that he shows up in. He's the voice, and now he's just like a staple in this show.
Well,
I might maybe just check out a few eps to see like what the fuck is going on in it, because it looks like they're just like, we could be canceled at any moment. Let's just fucking go hog wild. Let's just do
like,
whatever we want.
They're like Conan when he found out he was getting canceled. It's just like, let's buy a Corvette made of gold.
It pretty much looks like that. So yeah, that's all. That's the only other one I got.
Nice. Well, grab me a beer, Troy, and I'll dive into the Tournament of Random Movies.
Oh,
yeah, there we go. Get that in there. Of course, last week we had. God damn, why can I never remember it? I have to like look directly at them. We had Silent Movie versus White Man Can't Jump.
Oh yeah.
What do you think won, Troy? Did you see who won?
I voted early.
What'd you vote for?
I voted for Silent Movie.
You voted for Silent Movie, really?
I did.
Well, Troy, I'm sorry to say, it was pretty much trounced
Oh no!
by White Men Can't Jump. It was like, you must have been the only vote, because it was like, there was like 80% White Men Can't Jump.
Damn it. Damn it. All right.
So, unfortunately, Silent Movie's out. White Men Can't Jump in there alongside Crazy Rich Asians, The Princess Bride, Jerry Maguire, Street Fighter, and The Meg.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've got 2 more matchups left, Troy.
All right.
So, we're getting close to the quarter. I love a quarter.
I love quarterfinals.
So, here we go. Our next matchup, one from 2006 involving a famous comedy troupe.
Okay.
And one from 2011, which is a horror film, but takes kind of an interesting take on it.
Okay.
The one from 2006, Bring on the beer. They've got the nuts.
Beer Fest.
It's Beer Fest, Troy.
I was going to say that. I couldn't remember when Super Troopers came out, but it had to be one or the other.
Yes, there you go. So the 2006 Beer Fest is up, and the one from 2011, I don't know if you'll get this one. I'll still try it. It's it's a little bit obscure, but we'll see. From 2011, did you remember to lock your door?
Is it Cabin in the Woods?
It is not Cabin in the Woods.
Shit.
It is the mildly obscure horror film You're Next.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. You're Next is one of those ones where like I don't think about it, but then when I hear it, I'm like, oh yeah, You're Next. That's pretty good.
I never saw it, but I thought I thought it went over pretty well. Like it was one that nobody was really paying any attention to, and then it came out, and they're like, "That was pretty good."
Yeah, like the previews for it makes it look like every typical like masked killer horror film, and then you get into it, and then like it's not like a big like you kind of hear about it without really knowing, but like one of the family members is like a trained like merc, and just like I don't know, like it looks like your typical like, oh, this family's being invaded by these mass killers, and then it's like one of them just like steps up and just starts kicking their ass, and it's like, shit, I did not see that coming.
All right.
So it's, I don't know, Your Next is pretty fun.
Okay.
So there you go, Beer Fest versus Your Next.
Okay.
We'll see what you people decide next week.
What's your favorite part of Beer Fest?
I think when they introduced the twin.
I didn't know what you were gonna say. Because that's my favorite part too.
The guy's twin is probably my favorite part.
Okay, that's my favorite part too. Great.
Yeah.
So cast your votes for this coming week.
There you
and
go.
We'll, go to Review Pod on Twitter.
Review Pod on Twitter. And then next week we'll have the last matchup in the first round, and then we'll get into the quarter finals.
Great. Can't wait. So we'll be looking for your answers in the poll.
Yeah.
We'll tell you who wins next week.
Hell yeah.
Well, you don't got any bad news, do you, before we move on?
No bad news.
Okay, good.
No bad news.
Well, then we get into the nitty-gritty.
The nitty-gritty.
Their first spooky movie of the spooky season, 2018.
Yeah.
Dropping October 25th, 1978.
Wow, they even aimed pretty close for Halloween when it came out.
That's right.
Halloween release.
With a budget of $325,000.
It is pretty small.
It domestically made $47 million. Then worldwide, on its run, made $70 million.
Sheesh.
Not too shabby for a maybe close to $250,000 budget. Rotten Tomatoes has it at a 93%.
That's pretty high.
IMDb has it at a 7.9 out of 10. Metacritic has it at a 78%.
Wow.
That's right. This ranks number 3 in Halloween movies domestically.
Yeah.
Can you guess the 2 that beat it?
Man, Halloween movies.
It's the actual Halloween movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably Nightmare Before Christmas.
No. It's like actual Halloween, but franchise movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. The Rob Zombie ones?
The Rob Zombie one, the first one, is number 1 domestically.
Oh my God.
But what was number 2?
H2O?
Yeah, you're right. It was.
Halloween Water?
That's right. Spooky Water.
Spooky Water. Halloween Water.
Yep. None of them have the acclaim that this one does.
No.
So, we'll see what the next one brings.
Yeah. I've heard decent things about the new one.
I've been trying to keep away from it. I don't want to.
I've heard decent things.
Okay.
Just saying.
I heard things.
You. I like you.
I love a bad Robert De Niro impression. I love it. Oh my.
We're fucking stupid.
Yeah, we are, but I'm glad we like it. I got a bunch of notes on this. Oh, but okay, so JT, what happened in Halloween?
Well, we come across a young Michael Myers dressed as a clown that brutally murders his very fast sex-having sister. And after what is it, like 15 years? No, 25 years or something.
It's
50, I think
15 years.
50. After 15 years being locked up in a mental asylum, he escapes despite the warnings of his Dr. Loomis, and goes back to his hometown of Haddonfield, Illinois, where he comes across what was Jamie Lee Curtis's character in it?
Laurie.
Yeah, Laurie Strode. Comes
Did
across.
you watch this movie?
No, I know. Comes across Laurie Strode and follows her back to where she is babysitting a child, and also communicating with her two other friends who are also, one is babysitting, one just wants to fuck.
They're down to pound, man.
Oh yeah, they're both down to bang, and yeah, the psychological scary antics
Ooh.
that arise from the stalking Michael Myers.
That's right. Very good. Very good synopsis. I want to talk about the first 2 minutes of this a lot.
Really?
Yes. So I already knew the opening of this movie before I ever saw it for the first time.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. I watched it this time with a critical eye to see if you could tell that if it's a child's hand reaching for all this stuff.
Yeah.
Before he goes outside and unmasks himself.
Yeah.
But I think you can.
Yeah.
When he
it is
reaches,
a child's hand.
when he reaches for the knife, they blur it's out of focus.
Oh, okay.
So you can see him grabbing out of the drawer. The only thing you can see clearly is the knife, and then when he goes to grab it, it kind of gets out of view again.
That knife he has, there's no reason to have a knife that big. It's literally when they unmask him outside, it's literally half the size of him.
It's quite a
It is
chef's knife.
such a giant knife.
And so also when the boyfriend's in the house and Michael Myers is peeping from outside, he's like, "Come on, babe, let's go upstairs." Literally has sex for 20 seconds.
It is so fast.
Because by the time they race upstairs,
yeah.
he sees the light turn on. He comes in,
He
grabs
comes
a
in,
knife.
grabs a knife. The boyfriend's leaving.
He's getting his shirt on, ready to be. I'll see you later, babe.
Yeah.
And I'm
hey, thanks for the good time. I'm surprised she didn't look pissed when he went upstairs. Or she was like, God, he literally blew a load in 2 seconds.
Yeah. Not even a minute, man.
Yeah.
He was
not even a minute,
30
man.
seconds max.
So fast.
And that is not the only time sex happens quickly in this movie. There's another near the tail end that I'm like, that went abruptly quickly. But so
It's all about the guy. Make sure the guy gets off. That's all that matters.
He races out of the door, somehow does not see Michael Myers
with a knife.
With a knife backlit by a kitchen light.
Yeah. There's a lot of no one really sees Michael Myers in this.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it's a horror movie. I'll just take it as okay, he didn't see him, whatever. Goes upstairs, sees his sister combing her hair topless.
Yeah, and that's a got to make sure I get all these sex gnarls out of my hair.
Get these sex knots.
Got these sex knots in my hair.
And just goes upon stabbing her a few times until she's dead. Races downstairs where the parents are pulling up.
Yeah.
Granted, this is all in 2 minutes.
Yeah. It's all in real time.
So he goes outside. They say Michael takes off the mask. It's revealed it's a kid, and he's standing there shocked or
Yeah.
stunned or whatever
Yeah.
that he's just murdered somebody or he's in like some sort of trance or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, they insinuate that something's fucked up with him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. We'll talk more about it as it goes in, but yeah, like something's not right with him.
And then I also want to say, because this is in real time, if the sex would have happened in real time and not like in 30 seconds, those parents would have been there to catch him right in the act.
Well, she knew that he was she knew that he was gonna fuck easy.
I suppose so.
Well, my parents are gonna be home any minute, so you better just fuck me now. Or like it was one of those.
It's like, where's Michael? I don't know. He's somewhere. Let's just go fuck where he could be. Maybe
he was like such a virgin that she just showed him his tits, showed him her tits, and then he was like, oh, all right, we'll see you later, babe.
All right.
If we both take our shirts off, I'll blow a load in my pants. So
easy peasy, no cleanup.
Yeah. No pregnancy scare with this one, babe. Just show me your tits and I'll blow a load.
This has gotten really blue right off the bat. So anyway, there's the opening right there.
Yeah.
And then it jumps to 1973, I think.
No, it's 8 because it's like 67 or 60.
63 and then it just up to
and then 78, yeah.
Where it came out. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. And it cuts to... Is that where it cuts to like Loomis right off the bat driving with his nurse?
Yeah, he's driving with a nurse.
Who like is in such a nurse costume that I thought it was a Halloween costume.
Yeah. I mean, we're pretty close to Halloween. Maybe she's coming back from a Halloween costume as a nurse.
To go to a mental hospital?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. But then...
Keep in mind, $300,000 went into this. Like, it's not like a blockbuster film.
I get it. I'm just saying, I laughed. I thought it was funny. And they get to the mental hospital where he's at to visit him. He's been doing it for the last 15 years, this Loomis guy. He's trying to get and crack that nut that is Michael Myers. But he hasn't spoken in 15 years.
Yeah.
So I want to know how much he's really gotten out of him. How has he made this diagnosis?
Well, no, like, I don't know. Well, I got, to go into it, I think I probably like this a lot more than you, because I fucking love this movie.
Okay.
But, like, I think a lot of, like, what they draw from in this is, like, a lot of, like, the fear of the unknown, almost. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of, like, Loomis's diagnoses is because he's so... He is so befuddled by like what Michael Myers is that he just draws these crazy conclusions.
I can see that. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate this movie.
Okay.
I'm just picking at it because...
No. Yeah, I know. It's fun to talk about the dumb sex, the dumb fast sex. But yeah, no, I first of all, I want to bring up, this is the third John Carpenter film we've talked about.
Is it real? Oh yeah, it is.
Because we've talked about Big Trouble in Little China and Escape from New York. So this is the third John Carpenter film we've talked about. And like, I remember watching this in a film class I took at like the community college that I was at. Mm-hmm. And I remember watching it there and I was like, it was all right. It's a little slow, but I like it. What's whatever. And watching it this time, I think this might be up there as like my favorite of all the John Carpenter films we've done so far.
I would... yeah.
Because, I mean, it's definitely lower budget than everything else that he's done that we've talked about on here, but it's, like, there's a lot of things in this that I really liked, and you can almost tell, because a lot of, movies been ripped off a shit ton.
Yes.
Because it's, like, that whole, like, this is, like, the first, like, official slasher film.
Yeah.
So, like, you can see what they borrow from it, but, like, seeing, like, the original product of, like, the original slasher film, you can see the things that John Carpenter tried to convey in this that the other ones kind of missed. And I really like that about this.
Such as?
Like, I feel like a lot of the slasher films after this really focus a lot on the sex.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, if you have sex, you die. And, like, I even, like, read, like, a small thing John Carpenter did where he, like, did, like, an interview where he was like, I only had them have sex because it was an easy way for them to be vulnerable to die.
Yeah, I read that same thing.
Yeah, like he was like, I didn't really give a shit that they were like I didn't want to like portray the theme that if you fuck
Sex
you
is
die.
evil.
Yeah, sex is evil. I just wanted to get them in a vulnerable situation where they die, and what I pulled from this was like they kind of like play on like a theme of like how like Michael Myers is like this ultimate predator, and like humans are so domesticated that they could literally be stalked by like the worst of the worst and not even care or even joke about it. Like Michael Myers like almost conveys himself like a prowling lion through most of this with that fucking station wagon he has. Like he just like sneaks up on people and they're just like, oh, that's whoever, and like they really play on like that whole like you could literally be stalked by the person that's gonna murder you and you could never know.
Yeah,
and in broad daylight nonetheless.
Yeah, I actually really going through this, I really liked that he does do a lot of his prowling. I should say in broad daylight.
Yeah.
And maybe it was just because it's easier to film than shooting at night.
Yeah.
But it made it like people feel more vulnerable that he's like can be out there in broad daylight.
Oh yeah.
But it's still kind of weird because he can't really hide himself.
No.
Like, unless he's in his station wagon. He's in full on like coveralls and like a bright white face mask.
Giant white face.
But the only thing is that where they go from here, where it's like the origin of the slasher movie, it takes a turn where I think I like how they portray the slashers more in future movies.
Okay.
But I'm still on the fence. So, because like in this, he's like a man.
Yeah.
Like, granted, he's nutso, but he is a man. He like can drive a car, which I find weird. Because I've seen future movies first, so my ideal picture of like a slasher is like an unstoppable monster. Mm-hmm. Because they do that even with Michael Myers in future movies. He becomes he becomes Jason pretty much.
Yeah.
But Jason didn't start like that either.
Yeah.
He just turned into this monster that is just unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
And I do find that scary because then when he just can in this movie where he'll like just be out like peeking around a bush and then he's just gone. It's just like, well, then how'd he do that?
Yeah.
He's just a dude. Like, how did he pull that vanishing act?
But I think that's I think the main thing that they kind of play throughout this whole movie was like, there's so many things that are unexplained that's kind of what I think John Carpenter was trying to portray. Like, there's like a throwaway scene that I liked a lot, and I almost probably would have missed it if I wasn't paying attention. But like, there's like this scene where the groundskeeper is like the groundskeeper of the cemetery where like Judith Myers is buried is walking with Dr. Loomis, and they're just walking through the cemetery, and he just starts telling this story about, oh yeah, this reminds me about this story 15 years ago where this guy, like this guy lived with his family, and like they had to lock him up because he grabbed a hacksaw and he woke up one day and then just cuts the story off.
Right.
And it drove me crazy because I was like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, I wanted to know too.
But I think that's kind of like what he's trying to convey in this, where it's like the unknown is the thing that drives, like the main thing out of this is like the unknown almost drives you more crazy than the actual killer.
Yeah.
Like all the things, like Dr. Loomis seems like this stressed, insane individual, mainly because he just doesn't know what Michael Myers is. And he just makes up this shit to try and convince himself that, oh, well, then he's this, and then he's this.
Yeah. I completely agree with you that the unknown is scary. That's a reason why I really liked the movie The Strangers.
Yeah.
It didn't have like, it didn't have strong parts all the way through, but I love that you never find out who is behind all the killings or whatever. Yeah. They just terrorize these people and show up in the house with masks on. You never figure out who they are, don't know what their motives are. They're just here to murder people.
And the thing about Michael Myers in this is that, like, I love the idea where, like, he can be so close to you and yet you will not feel threatened until it's too late.
Right.
Like, there's even, like, the scenes when, like, he actually kills people. Like, they do, like, these small things that are really fucking cool, where it's like once you realize you're fucked, it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole scene when Annie dies, when she the door to her car's locked.
Oh yeah.
So like she goes back and gets the keys, and then she opens the door and it opens right away, and then she sits in the car and she's like, oh fuck. And that's when Michael Myers kills her, where it's like, shit, yeah, it's just like if you would have just like realized that, it would have been like, oh shit, it's unlocked. Well, I shouldn't really, something's fucked then. Something's wrong. But it's just like, we're so used to just like wandering through these situations. Like I would have done that.
Yeah.
Just like open the door and walked in, sit in, like, all right, I'm gonna get ready to. Wait a minute, that wasn't locked before. Oh fuck, I'm dead.
Right. But a cool thing that happens in this movie too. It takes place in like a town that's fairly wholesome. You know what I mean?
Even the sheriff is like, nothing happens here. Like, why are you making such a big stink of all this?
Whereas like future movies, like in the Friday the 13th franchise, all take place at this spooky campground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe it's just spooky because like that's the vibe that the movie brings to this kind of place. But it's not like it's like this remote, far away place where like you're by yourself and alone. You're like in a community.
Yeah.
And this guy is stalking you in broad daylight.
Yeah.
And like can be around any corner or whatever.
Exactly.
And so like people can wander around like nothing's wrong. Like yeah, it's dark outside. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna go outside in this t-shirt and I gotta go meet my friend to go screw.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like like Annie fucking goes out and does her laundry.
Right.
In like a fucking men's like button-up shirt. And like she gets stuck in there, and then she's like super vulnerable, stuck in that fucking window trying to crawl out because the door locked.
Right.
She never questions like, why'd the door close? Why is it locked? She's just like, oh, that sucks, and then tries to like crawl out of a window getting stuck, where it's like, you don't realize that there's something that might be something out there that closed the door. But but again, that goes on to the whole thing where it's like we're so used to like being safe in these communities and being so domesticated that when something pops up that's out of the ordinary, we don't think twice about it because it's like, well, it's probably nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it's a joke, or it's a prank.
Right. The one thing about Jamie Lee Curtis's friends is that I know Jamie Lee Curtis was 19 when she filmed this.
Yeah.
And it was her first role.
Yep.
But like everybody else looks like they're 30-year-old teens.
Yeah, I think she's the only teenager in the whole thing.
And like even Chelsea said that when she came in the room, was like, "Are these 30-year-olds prancing around to being like 19-year-olds?" I'm like, yeah, kind of.
No, they're supposed to be in high school.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Because they're talking about going to the dance tomorrow.
yeah. But yeah, they're even like the guys, like they look 30. The women, maybe it's also like the old fashion of the time too, but they look like something like my mom would wear.
Fucking nerdy ass Bob.
He looks like the
Bob
biggest
is
dweeb.
Biggest dweeb when he's getting screwed by like the hottest chick.
That's what was cool at the time, bro.
Hey man, get those thick rimmed glasses, man. You'll get banged.
Also, because this movie came out and it was the first of its kind, I felt like it didn't really have... It was setting tropes to be tweaked still. Like, I don't find Michael Myers driving around in a station wagon very threatening.
Yeah, I can see that, but I do like the idea of it because, like, I like the idea that, like, he's driving around in this car that almost kind of makes him an authority figure, which almost makes him more threatening, that he can just drive up and, like, people be, oh, well, it says, for like official use only or something on it with like that Illinois state seal on it.
Right.
So it almost makes him more threatening that he can drive up and almost like this authority figure and you won't think anything of it until you're just like, oh shit, it's a white-faced killer and then it fucking murders you.
I suppose, but like I just couldn't get. I'm like, that is not scary.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get that. It's like, yeah, it's not scary, but it's like he's like kind of like wearing this sheath of like something that's like that should be driven by an authority figure, but instead it's a cold-blooded killer.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it if it's like it works as like a bit of camouflage to be out like on the road in
Yeah.
broad daylight.
Yeah.
But still, I'm like, a station wagon.
I know. Station wagon is. It's probably the
Chevy Chase is in there.
Yeah, yeah. I also love like the scene where like the girl's like, "Oh, what's his name?" And it's like it says official use with the Illinois Illinois State seal on it. Like,
Yeah.
which one of your like douchey high school boyfriends is driving Illinois State sealed for authority use only station wagon around?
Also, the music in this is done by John Carpenter. That's pretty well known.
So fucking good.
Very iconic score.
The Halloween theme song is probably the best ever.
Yeah.
And I even love in this too, like he'll almost kind of like throw you off with the music too.
I disagree. I disagree that it throws you off because every time Michael Myers is coming or is around, they start playing that music.
Not every time.
Almost every time. And like any time that they don't play it is when it's the Psych Out. Because there's a point where they play it when he's kind of hiding around the bush or whatever at that one scene.
Yeah.
But then they don't play it later when she like has the jump scare when they bump to the cop.
Yeah. I don't know. There are some scenes when like they play it and you don't see him right away and you're like, "Oh shit, where is he?" And then he does show up, but then the one that really got me was when he first reveals himself to Jamie Lee Curtis, they don't play it. And you just see his face like slowly come out of the shadows. After she sees like after she sees the tombstone and she sees like her like dead Bob and the dead blonde chick, I can't remember her name, but holy shit, does she have a dumb dead face?
Chelsea laughed with me when she opens the cupboard door and she's just like cross-eyed.
A cross-eyed dead face. But no, like when she's like backed up against like the wall and then they pan over to like the doorway and then his face just slowly is revealed. There's no music there and it's like so fucking effective.
Yeah, that is like actually stuck with me since the first time I ever saw it.
It's so good.
It's like really haunting and very scary. That's when they do shit like that. I'll bring up The Strangers again. There's like a scene where what's the main actress that was in it? Was that Liv Tyler?
Yeah.
Where she's like talking on the phone and you see just one of them like just step out into the light a little bit behind her and she's not paying attention and then step back into the shadows. Creeps me the fuck out. But I do agree that like the first time when he's revealed to her, that's a very powerful scene.
Yeah. I also like a lot you bringing that up kind of reminds me. I like how like there are large portions of this where you see it through Michael Myers' eyes too. Mm-hmm. Like I don't think a lot of horror films do that where they show it from the killer's perspective. And like there's a lot of scenes where like you're following Michael Myers and seeing what he sees as he's walking and stalking these people where it's like that's almost scarier where you can like where it's like shit like you're aware that he's here but they're not.
Yeah.
And like you're following him where it's like shit.
Yeah. Like when he comes across the boy with that gets his pumpkin squashed or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just shows up on like the school property.
Yeah.
And he just watches the boy walk away.
Yeah, he just follows him and just watches him where you're like, what is he gonna do?
Yeah. That's pretty scary. Let me go back. My phone keeps shutting off. One of the funnier things that I found in this is that even though Loomis has worked with this boy for like 15 years. It's his like life project.
Yeah.
And he is like telling everybody that this Michael Myers is a threat.
Yeah.
Nobody listens to him whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like when he's calling the cops on that payphone and he's like, you don't understand. He is a menace. Like he is coming for you guys in your town. You need to listen to me. And he's like, you can't hear what the response is. And he's like, well, then you're as good as dead. And he hangs up the phone.
Loomis is a crazy person in this. Like, even the scene when, like, those kids go up to the Myers house and then he, like, fucks with them where he's like, you better get your ass off this porch. And they run away and he's so proud of himself. Yeah. Like, this is the middle of trying to find a cold-blooded killer. And he's just like, look what I did. It's like Loomis is an insane person. Like I would love to see like a backstory of Loomis because I don't think he's sane in the slightest. He was just a doctor that was good at his job and then came across Michael Myers and then him trying to find out what's wrong with him drove him insane.
I also like that. So where his mental facility that Michael Myers was kept is 150 miles away from Haddonfield.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, that isn't very far away.
No.
It's like a 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
And, like, everybody makes it seem like it is a vast distance to travel.
Have you talked to enough people in small towns?
Yes.
Dude, I've talked to people in small towns where it's like, an hour away. Jesus Christ.
I usually, anytime I tell anybody how far I live away from my job, they're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, if I do a wrestling...
It's not that bad.
If I do a wrestling show in Chicago, I'll tell someone that, and it's like, you drive that in a day? Yeah. Yeah, I do. You drive down there and you drive back in the same day. Oh, my God. How do you live with yourself?
It's not that far.
I know.
It is 2.5 hours, maybe 3 with traffic at most.
Yeah. But they act like you're fucking going to Mecca.
Anyway.
Small town people do not like to travel much.
No, they do not. So, anytime they bring up that Haddonfield is so, like, far away, I'm just like, I keep laughing to myself. And then it feels like it takes him all day to get...
Yeah. Like, Michael Myers is there immediately. Loomis is taking his sweet ass time.
Yeah. He's stopping at the side of the road to call the cops saying they're as good as dead. And then pokes around and finds that matchbook. Did that ever come up again?
No, the matchbook was from the car that he stole. Because he was going through and he found her cigarettes in the matchbook, and the matchbook was from the car.
Got it. I missed that detail.
And then the guy in the truck was the jumpsuit that he stole.
Got it.
To replace his scrubs.
Somehow I totally missed that detail. I watched it and I was like, that was weird. Maybe that'll come back later. No. It really doesn't, but it's just whatever. And I also like that in town that the cop is like investigating this hardware store break-in.
Yeah.
And they're like, What happened? Must just been some kids. They just stole some mass rope and knives.
Yeah. It's like, what kids steal these terrible things?
They're probably just up to just boys being boys.
Yeah.
But yeah, what? It's just a serial killer checklist.
Yeah. But I think that's like up to, again, the whole like domestication thing. Like, you live in this small town where it's like, oh, it's probably nothing.
Right.
There's probably so many things that go on. Oh, probably nothing.
Right.
It's going to be a man that murders 3 people by the end of it. Probably nothing.
Oh, man. What else? I just have another note that all the sex in this movie is so fast. Because even Bob, like, is a 2-pump chump when it comes to it.
Yeah, he fucks super fast. And
to the point where like they're just fooling around and then the phone rings and then they roll back over onto it and then he like immediately rolls back and is like, I got mine. Why don't you give me a beer, babe?
Why don't you get me? Oh my God, she wanted her beer so bad.
Real bad.
Hey, where's my beer?
I did like that though, where Michael Myers not only killed Bob by pegging him to a wall
stole
with
his
a knife.
glasses and made a ghost outfit.
Looks like a nerdy Charlie Brown standing there. Chelsea said it looks like that Casey Affleck movie where he dressed up as a ghost and came upstairs.
Yeah. I know, he was... Jesus, yeah, he looks so fucking... Like, how does he have the wherewithal to know that, okay, if I'm gonna fucking kill this chick without her freaking out right away, I gotta dress up like Ghost Bob.
Right? That scene went on for a long time, too. And I was like, okay, I get the shtick. Just do something else. Because, like, it was like a full-on maybe minute. And I'm like, oh my god, this can only go on so long before I lose
Thank
interest.
God phones are cordless now. I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, no kidding.
Fucking kills her with a telephone cord. Hey, Troy, why don't you give me a beer? Where's my beer? For those not that can't see this, which is everyone, Troy tried to do the Bob glasses with his hands.
There you go. Lucky oh no, these microphones have cords. You better watch out, buddy.
Oh no! I hope Lori doesn't call me.
Just some more facts about this movie, because I've pretty much gone through all my little notes here.
Yeah.
But from a budget of just over $300,000, the film went on to gross $47 million domestically, and in 2008, takings that would be equivalent of $150 million. I think that's when this note was taking place. Making Halloween the most successful independent film of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet. And then another thing is, as the movie was actually shot early spring in Southern California, and it was supposed to be in Illinois in late October, the crew had to buy paper leaves from a decorator and paint them in the desired autumn colors, and then scatter them in filming locations. To save money, after a scene was filmed, the leaves were raked up and reused in other scenes. And however, Jamie Lee Curtis and John Carpenter note on the DVD audio commentary, the trees are quite full and green, which I remembered this from like another note that I had, and I was like, yeah, this is a lush landscape here. And despite that Illinois in October, the leaves would probably be mostly gone. There would be no palm trees due to Illinois' cold climate, and the state is mostly full of deciduous trees.
Yeah, it did not look cold there in the slightest either. Like, they're wearing coats, but it looks hot as fuck there.
Yeah, like... Every lawn and tree in this is like at the peak of its green season.
You could not find a greener landscape than Haddonfield, Illinois in the middle of October.
That was pretty funny. So like when I was watching this again this time, I was trying to pay attention to like how autumn they made it look. And it literally was like they just had a garbage bag of leaves to throw them down, just to pick them back up, and then use them for the next.
But in all honesty, that'd probably be shit that we do.
Oh yeah, for sure. We probably wouldn't even do that.
Yeah, we'll like try and like film like a summer movie in the middle of winter, and we'll just like throw on a bunch of green shit, like try and spray paint the snow green.
But yeah, overall, like I really like this movie. Like quite a bit, but I don't think I liked it as much as I had on previous viewings.
Okay.
Watching with a more critical eye this time, I think the things that I have gripes about, they fix in future but still good slasher flicks.
Yeah.
Where I like the looming kind of, if they're gonna play it like a looming like real human character, I think they perfected that in like future movies.
Okay.
But if they want to be also like the supernatural predator, I think they do that better in other movies as well.
Okay.
And also, there were a few times where like I thought, even though I love the Halloween theme, I thought it was ill-placed in a few places where it didn't really help drive the tension, and it just kind of for me spoiled a little bit of something.
All right.
But those are like my only really big critiques.
Yeah.
But being the first like slasher horror movie out of the gate, they like set a precedent of what was to come. So I still appreciate that.
No, yeah. I appreciate it just for the fact that it's like, because it's the first slasher film, it's not drawing from other slasher films. Like, this is John Carpenter being like, I'm making this film because of this. Like, he's not being like, oh, I'm gonna copy Halloween.
Right. Right.
And like that's why I like this a lot, where like I feel like he's actually trying to convey a lot of like what I think horror should really focus on, where it's like, yeah, let's talk about like how we're so comfortable in our comfortable lives that if a mass murderer comes through, we could literally give less of a fuck, or we'll just be like, oh, that's just Bobby playing games with me, or whatever. And I like that a lot more than like this whole code of horror where it's like, well, if you fuck someone, you die,
Right.
or like trying to explain like even the origins of what Michael Myers is, or what Jason is, or what Freddy is. It's like I love that they leave so much to your imagination that that's almost what drives you more crazy than what's actually going on.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he tries to play throughout all of this, even down to like, okay, Michael Myers is shot and dead, but he disappears at the end. So what happened to him? Like, no one can explain that. And I think that's just leads to like the main thing of this whole movie, where it's like the unexplainable is more terrifying than what you've seen and what you've experienced. Like, the fact that he's still out there is even scarier than the fact that you've seen him murder people.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree.
And I think that's what's making me look forward to this new Halloween, where like I think when I first heard that they were only going to draw from the first movie and it's going to be 40 years later and Michael Myers comes back, I was like, that's kind of stupid. But now that I'm like thinking about it now, it's like it could be a really cool like statement on like especially things nowadays where women are coming out like 20 or 30 years after they've been like abused and being like, this still fucks with me.
Yeah.
And like I didn't remember too much about like what happened in Halloween when I made those statements, but like watching this and like seeing the shit Laurie Strode goes through, where it's like, yeah, 40 years later that would fuck with me too.
So like I'm glad the new Halloween is getting like pretty high marks from people who've seen it already. But if you don't know already, they're only taking Halloween, the first one here that we reviewed, as canon, and the second one doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But like they've already kind of done this idea in Halloween H2O, where 20 years later, Michael Myers comes back to terrorize Laurie again. But
this is after all of the sequels and stuff too.
Yeah, but in that one I found out too, they only take 1 and 2 as canon.
Oh, really?
The like 3, 4, and maybe 5. I don't remember how many there are.
I think they only did 3 and 4. Well, no, 3 was a completely different thing.
Right.
4 was the one with Paul Rudd in it, I think.
Is that 5? Maybe I should look this up.
I think the one with I think the one with Paul Rudd is 5. I don't remember the one with 4 at all.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, because I think like 4 like really sucked. Like I guess like you didn't even wear the white mask or something. Maybe.
Really?
I don't know. The one I always saw was the one with Paul Rudd, which is The Curse of Michael Myers.
I think that one's the 5th one. I'm trying to find a. People are probably like, these guys are idiots.
Yeah, why are you even doing a fucking podcast on Halloween? You don't even know your goddamn facts.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, 3 is the one with the weird mask with the worm face.
Yeah, the mask that turns people's into snakes or whatever. I don't know. I've never seen that either.
I haven't either.
I
think the one that I've seen, the one Halloween movie I've seen the most is the one with Paul Rudd in it.
Me too. That one's the one that's always like on Stars or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's Halloween, Halloween 2,
Yeah.
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch,
Yeah.
Halloween 4, Return of Michael Myers,
Oh.
Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, and then Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers.
Oh, so there you
Halloween
go.
H2O, and then Halloween Resurrection.
Yeah.
Holy
with
shit.
Busta Rhymes in it.
I have never seen Halloween Resurrection or Halloween 5.
I saw the beginning of Halloween Resurrection where he kills Laurie Strode in the first 5 minutes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's bad.
I think I've only ever seen Halloween 2, and then the Halloween 6.
Yeah.
Oh, and I've seen H2O, but
Yeah, I've seen H2O. H2O is not terrible.
I don't hate H2O either.
Yeah.
But I only saw it. I saw it like when it came out. So
Yeah.
like I don't know what I remember of it really.
Yeah.
I remember like doesn't Laurie like chop off Michael Myers' head, but it's
Yeah.
not really Michael Myers.
No, it's still him. I think because that was supposed to be like the ending, and then they did Resurrection.
Oh, when they say like he switched places with like paramedic or something, is that how they explained it? I'm pretty sure that's
Maybe.
what it was.
Maybe.
Anyways, I don't even remember what my original point of this was gonna be. But
H2O was only supposed to be a sequel from Halloween 2.
oh yeah, that's right. So with that, in Halloween 2, they make Laurie Strode Michael Myers' biological sibling.
Yeah.
So in this, she's not.
Yeah.
But why is Michael Myers after Laurie?
Well, I don't. Maybe it's just the fact that he goes back to Haddonfield.
And she's just in the wrong
And
place,
she's- yeah.
wrong time.
Well, like in this, they kind of make it seem where like she wants him to come back. Like she wants to get revenge. Like,
Well, I mean, in the first one, like here,
yeah.
like there's no other reason. Like,
No, she's just there. Like she drops the key off at the Myers house and sees her, and then that's
okay.
what makes him follow her.
okay, all right, that's good enough, I guess.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That was because I was like, well, then okay, if he comes back, because I always thought that like they were siblings. Like this whole time, because
Yeah.
I guess if you watch any other movie, they would be.
Yeah.
But so like if they're taking that as like not canon, I was just like, then why does he make her such a big deal?
Yeah.
I suppose.
No, she's the first person he sees when he's at his house.
Right.
And just kind of follows her from there.
Isn't that fucked up? So like, so like in future movies, like Jamie Lee Curtis is like just sometimes his sister, sometimes not, but she's always just back to play her role.
Hey, man. Jamie Lee Curtis is kick ass, man.
That's right.
True Lies.
She's
fucking kicked
full-
ass in True Lies.
She's full on like Sarah Connor in this new movie.
No
it
shit.
Looks like
No shit. I'm looking forward to it, man. She looks badass in this. Like she's got that silver fox ass hair.
that's
Like
right.
she's about ready to kick some fucking ass.
Hopefully she does.
Yeah.
See.
But I love the whole idea of it where it's like you're actually seeing like Laurie Strode as like an abuse victim where she's like, I want to fight back. I want to take my life back, and the only way I think I can do it is if I confront this person that took away my life 40 years ago.
Yeah.
I love the idea of that now.
Yeah. Good deal. So, I really don't have much else to say about Halloween, so unless you do, I'm ready to give it a full grade.
You know, when I watched this, I got like a lot of, and I know people fucking hate this movie, but I got a lot of like thinking back to the movie Death Proof.
Oh, really?
Yeah, cuz I don't know, like I got like the whole Michael Myers like stalking people in cars and shit.
Okay.
And like I kind of see Kurt Russell's character as like a Michael Myers type, where instead of being like very antisocial and kind of stalking from far away, like he gets really close to his victims and is like almost personable with them, which is like
Sure.
almost scarier. Like I don't know. I've always been like a bigger fan of Death Proof than other people that I've known.
Oh, yeah, you're a total stan. For
I know.
Death
I
Proof.
love Death Proof, and people fucking hate it. And I understand that it totally cuts itself off halfway through the movie, where it just focuses on a completely different group of girls, where it almost takes away the attention from the first half. But I've always loved the idea of like this slasher film with a car.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got Death Proof vibes from watching this again, where it's like Kurt Russell in Death Proof is like the anti Michael Myers, where instead of watching far away, he gets really close, and that almost makes him scarier.
Okay.
So I like the idea of that, but no, yeah, I really enjoyed watching it this second time around, and I get like the gripes where like maybe the music's not the best here and there, and it is slower than most slasher films, but this this viewing of Halloween felt like an unpolluted version of like what slasher films should be. Like he went into it with an idea, and then all other slasher films after this were like, well, let's do what Halloween did here, and then after that, like, well, let's do what Friday the 13th did here, where it's like this is like the slasher film. Like I'm drawing from no other previous films that did this. And I'm drawing off of this inspiration, and it felt more genuine, and I really liked that. So I'm gonna give this a solid B+.
Okay, I am gonna take that B+.
Yeah.
And maybe, in my eyes, downgrade it a little bit. I'm gonna give it a low B, but not quite a B-.
Okay.
When it first started out, I was in the B- territory. Because I thought it was a lot campier than I remember.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just the time that it came out in. But as it went on, I was like, okay, this is okay. There were a few little things that I already said that I'm like, I think that's fine-tuned in later movies. But I would say like a low B. But I would still recommend anybody to see it.
Oh, no, yeah. I understand that it is slower.
But the pacing of it, I thought was fine.
Really?
Yeah. And I didn't have... There was only just a few scenes where I was like... You just need to chop it up a little bit here because we're just waiting.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought the pacing of the movie was fine. It's like 90 minutes long.
Yeah, no, it's not that long at all.
Yeah.
And I think once they get to where Laurie is caught up with what the fuck's going on, then it's like nonstop from there.
Yeah.
And it's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Even though, like, she does do one stupid thing where she goes in the most flimsy closet imaginable.
Yeah, I thought too, and I'm like, why is Michael Myers having such a hard time opening this closet?
Oh my god, I know. She was like, she even
just
looks
punched through a door.
She even like walks over to the balcony where she's like, I could jump. No, I'm just gonna hide in this flimsy ass closet. Like the closet, like she's even like tying the knobs together where it's like that closet door. I could punch that closet door.
yeah. Right.
But like, I get it. Yeah, sure. It like strenuous situation. Okay, you're making a dumb choice there, but yeah. Oh my god, I was like, that closet is the most flimsy fucking thing.
Yep.
But no, I really loved this viewing of Halloween. I had a really good time watching it.
I wish I would have been in your film class for this movie.
Yeah.
Because I dropped in on your film class for Psycho.
Psycho, yeah.
And it really gave me a deeper appreciation for that movie, too.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I ever saw it in full.
Yeah.
So even though they, like, paused the movie and, like, would explain things there, I was like, really? And I got into it more, and I would be like, I'd really watch the scene in detail. Mm-hmm. I think that would even be like the only other reason why I'd even want to do like a movie review podcast is just like that one class that I took, which was far more interesting than any college class that I have ever taken.
That class was fun as fuck, man.
Yeah, it made the analytical parts of my brain work more after that.
Yeah,
for like movies,
like it made you like, oh, okay, let me figure out why they did this.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I turn my brain off and I'm like, this sucked. And I make fart noises for the whole time. But, I really liked it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it.
But no, yeah, Halloween, lots of fun.
Yep. So, JT, is there anything else you were into this last week besides the spooky Halloween?
Well, me and Molly went and saw the new film First Man with Ryan Gosling. I mean, it's definitely slow. Yeah, look, Molly loved it, and I just thought it was a lot slower than it needed to be. It gets over 2 hours long.
Okay,
and like there are interesting parts of it. Like I like their portrayal of astronauts in this because they almost kind of make the NASA program almost seem like kind of a war film.
Okay,
where it's like. Even, like, the shit they go through in space is so disorienting. Kind of like that from Saving Private Ryan, where it's just like, you go out on a beach and just everything is chaos.
Okay.
Like, that's kind of like that feeling I got in some of these missions that they go on in this, where, like, things are spinning so fast that they're about to pass out unless you like pull the right levers and push the right buttons. You're gonna just die in space.
Oh,
and they really convey that really well. But I think a lot of the scenes leading up to that draw on way too long sometimes.
Okay.
And not even given the fact that like how a lot of these things are gonna play out, because spoiler alert, Neil Armstrong does land on the moon.
Right.
But they do some cool stuff in there, and like I'm not gonna completely like write it off, but definitely be aware that it's kind of a drag in certain points.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. And I also saw the film A Prayer Before Dawn. I think I brought this up a long time ago, but it's about this guy who was like a kickboxer in Thailand who gets put in prison for doing heroin, and they actually film a lot of this film. I read that they filmed a lot of this in an actual Thailand prison.
Okay.
And it is fucked.
Oh, really?
It's good, but holy shit, you do not want to go to prison in Thailand. Holy shit. It is. They make that seem like the worst shit ever. Like, the prison guards are super corrupt, where like if you actually need medicine, they're like, okay, we got your medicine, what are you going to give me?
Oh, fuck.
It's like, he needs pain pills or he's going to go fucking insane, and they're just like, all right, well, we need this to happen, so if you do that, we'll totally give you the medicine that you're clinically prescribed. And then, because a lot of the guards are corrupt and they're kind of lazy, they like actually like make some of the prisoners like leaders of certain blocks of the prison. So you're like governed by other prisoners that are like gang members. Like if you like, there's like a scene literally where like the guy like talks back to them, and then they have a guy take a syringe, pull a bunch of blood out of his arm, and says, "I have AIDS," and pulls it up to his neck.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God.
So it is fucked. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, you do not want to owe anyone anything in that, and you do not want to be on anyone's bad side, because someone could just sneak up and be like, I'm going to rape you or give you AIDS.
Jesus Christ. Jesus.
So, yeah, Prayer Before Dawn.
Christ.
It is a it's intense, but I thought it was really good.
Oh, boy. Well.
And I also watched some TV.
All right.
Me and Molly started watching The Deuce.
Okay.
The show on HBO, which is pretty good. It's like if you ever seen The Wire, it's like The Wire for sex trade.
Yeah, in like the 70s, right?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, it's like they deal a lot with like prostitution and the beginnings of like porno films.
Okay. That's the one like Scorsese's a producer.
I think so. And it's created by the guys who did The Wire.
Okay.
And like James Franco plays twins in it.
Uh-huh.
But it's like I think he's actually really good in it. Like he plays it enough where it's like they both have like the same mustache and the same haircut, but like how he plays both of them, you can tell who's who.
Okay.
And it's really good. And Maggie Gyllenhaal is in it. She's really good. And I think we're almost done with the first season, but
okay.
it's good so far. It's really fun to see how all this plays out. Like from like the pimps up to like how the police handle the sex trade.
All right.
On 42nd Street in New York City. It's really interesting, really good.
Dang. Okay.
And a show that I was going to bring up to you that you should definitely watch on Netflix.
All right.
The Haunting in Hill House.
Yeah.
Really fucking good.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, I'm 3 episodes in, and it's really fucking good. It's really interesting too. Like, it's by the same guy that did Hush and what we saw with Carla Gugino in it. Gerald's Game.
Okay.
It's like the same director, and he does all the episodes for it. He
Okay.
directs all the episodes for it. And it's really good. It's like The best description I've heard for it is like it's the horror version of This Is Us, where
Okay.
where you see this family like 25 years in the past that live in Hill House, and then you go in the future to now where you see all the kids grown up and they're all kind of fucked in their own way, and you see how them living in Hill House affected what they are. It's like watching clips of a horror movie and then seeing and then the whole series is the aftermath of that horror movie.
Okay.
And then you're piecing together what happened in this horror movie based on how they're acting in the real world.
Okay.
As adults.
All right.
Like it's really fucking good, and like every there's like 5 children and they all kind of get like their own episode to like kind of convey what they are or like how they're living their life now, and it's really interesting.
All right. See if I can get convince the lady.
I mean,
maybe I'll just watch it without her.
I mean, there are horror aspects, but I think the more interesting aspect of it is that you definitely get like a character breakdown of all of these different people and like why they are what they are. Like even like the first episode, they focus mostly on like the oldest son, Steven, and like he saw the least out of anyone in terms of like ghosts or crazy paranormal shit that happened in the house. And you follow him and you see like how he's dealing with like all these people being crazy around him, and then you kind of work your way down to like the siblings that saw more crazy shit, and then you work your way down to where like the one that's seen the most crazy shit, and it's like, oh, now I know why you're crazy. Now I know why he thinks you're crazy, and it's like a ladder where you're just working your way down to seeing like why this family is the way it is.
Oh boy,
it's really good.
All right, okay. To go back on your First Man thing, I listened to this show. I brought it up a bunch of times, called Lights Camera Barstool.
Yeah,
and they are really looking forward to First Man.
Yeah,
like that it'll be their best. Like their favorite picture of the year or whatever.
Yeah.
And just gauging like by your reaction of it, I just want to hear what they have to say when they finally see it.
Yeah, because it's done by Damien Chazelle.
Yeah.
And it's not anything like I've seen of his before.
Okay.
Like, of all I've seen before is Whiplash and La La Land, and they are a lot more action-packed than First Man is.
All right. I saw... going back to something spooky for this Halloween,
Spooky.
I watched Red Letter Media's 2-parter on the Psycho franchise.
Yeah.
They talk about 1, 2, 3, and the TV movie of 4.
Yeah.
And their whole in-depth analysis on it. And it's really interesting because they really know a lot about the ins and outs of like who made it and did the soundtrack and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, nice.
So that's really interesting. The first one goes over 1 and 2, and the second one goes over 3 and 4. And they really talked about like the basis on how Psycho 1 set this precedent of like these horror movies and everything that it created from there, and Psycho 2, how it's like a actually worthy sequel that came out like many years
I've
later.
Heard Psycho 2 is actually really good.
And then Psycho 3 is directed by the guy who plays Norman Bates.
Yeah.
And it takes it in a direction that I guess isn't really... It's not really a great movie, but one of the guys says he likes it for just certain reasons because of its weird campiness or something to it.
Yeah.
And then Psycho 4 is a Showtime movie that came out, which
It's supposed to be a prequel.
It's both. It's like a prequel sequel.
Oh, really?
So it shows like what happens to Norman before Psycho 1.
Yeah.
But it also is actually currently happening like later in his life.
Oh, shit.
And so it's doing a little bit of both. But I think it disregards Psycho 3. I'm not sure. I can't remember now. But it... I would like to go back and watch the original Psycho again and Psycho 2 because I've never seen it.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
At least for sure. Like, I don't know if I'd go back and watch Psycho 4 or Psycho 3 from their analysis from it.
Yeah.
But they said they liked them both for different reasons. One of them actually said they liked Psycho 4 more than 3.
Yeah.
Because it gave an aspect on, like, Norman Bates's, like, psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas they do that in one movie, whereas, like, Bates Hotel, the series, went 5 seasons to tell that kind of story.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's whatever. It's like a crapshoot in what you like or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But I found that pretty interesting. And that's like maybe an hour and a half of your time to watch both parts.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'd be for that.
And then I also just wrapped up reading a few Batman books featuring Ra's al Ghul from
Batman?
From the 70s.
Why are you reading Batman, really? You're reading a lot of Batman lately.
No fucking kidding. Anyway, so like the 70s is like a weird time, at least early 70s, for Batman stuff because it still has like the sensibilities of like the 60s campy Batman.
Yeah.
But the art style changed with like Neil Adams coming onto it. So it's got like a lifelike representation of people and doesn't have this campy look.
Yeah.
But it still is campy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mesh well, I think. It's still making its transition to where Batman becomes like darker and brooding again. But it's only halfway there. And
like
so
he just comes out of the shadows and says, "Drink your milk."
It's like, it's weird because they're chasing down Ra's al Ghul, for instance. So Batman goes to like Sweden, and that's where he's trying to track him down. And he's like, "Good thing I brought my good Olympic skier friend."
Going at the Harlem Globetrotters here to...
Yeah. So it's just stuff like that. And so like some issues I thought were fun one-offs where it's like, "Oh no, a man's dressing up as the Grim Reaper and killing kids." And there's like this, and like there's a lot of murder that happens in these Batman books for how campy they are now that I'm thinking about it. But there's one issue for certain that I'm talking about this guy dressed up as Grim Reaper. It's like a legit Scooby-Doo episode where they unmask him as like, Old Man Jenkins! No, but it's like, there's this one kid that Dick Grayson is hanging around where there's like this Halloween like parade going on, and this kid is infatuated with floats. Like he shows up 5 times and he's like, "Did anyone see those floats? Why do they call them floats? Floats are cool. I love floats." And like is so much in a trance about how he loves floats. He like walks into a death trap essentially. Oh my god. Anyway,
the kid was not meant to live.
I had
with
fun
his
with
love
it.
of floats.
I had fun with it, is what I'm saying. But that's all I've been into this week, JT.
All right.
Well, if people want to explain to you how floats work, where could they do that?
Man, build me a float at Bucky for Everyone on Twitter, also Bucky for Everyone on Instagram, and hey, why not Bucky for Everyone on Snapchat? Troy.
You can find me at Troy the Max on Twitter. You can find us both at Review Pod on Twitter. All of our episodes are also uploaded onto Facebook if you're a fan of the Facebook.
Yep.
And on our hosting site at reviewreviewpod.podbean.com. But if you don't want to listen there, no skin off our backs, because we're on a multitude of platforms, such as iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We're everywhere. We're on Alexa devices, babe.
Woo!
So check us out on all those platforms. And if you listen to an Apple product,
Yeah.
and you are on Apple Podcasts,
Yeah.
why don't you give us a rate and a review there, because if you like the show, that helps other people find the show. And if you want to write into the show, you can do so at reviewreviewpod@gmail.com.
Oh, yeah.
So do all of those things. Don't forget to vote for the tourney of random movies.
They're classics.
They're classics. This
They're
week.
classics like Beer Fest and You're Next.
So vote on those. Also, before we go off, I was also a guest as well with Ghost Hunter Dave on the Pop Culture Punks podcast, where they talk about the creative process and what made us want to do what we do and all that kind of stuff. I bring up this show often in it.
You do. I was surprised how much you brought it up.
Well,
I was expecting to get buried under all the comic shit. And
No,
you bring
no.
up, oh wow,
This was the spur of what was yet to come in all of my podcasting, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
yakety schmackety. So we started this first.
glad to see you don't forget where you came from.
That's
Troy.
right. I'm still looking out
Get
for
them
the
roots.
little man.
Get them roots.
Yeah.
You know them roots, brah.
So that's the show for this week. Until next time, here's Sting with a cut off. No.
Fuck it.
That's going to be the show for this week. Join us Monday.
Monday we got the revisiting of
That's right.
our test pilot,
Right.
where I've got a show, Troy's got a show, and then we're both doing the rookie.
Right. Nathan Fillion.
Nathan
vehicle.
Fillion is a cop, bros.
That's right.
And then we're going to be doing the new Halloween next week.
That's right.
And for our last episode, since we're gonna be recording it on Halloween night, I had an idea that we will do a horror film from you fans, and based off of your suggestions and suggestions from myself and Troy. We have Dinosaur Neil that suggested Hereditary.
Yep.
We'll put that in the poll. We have a person that suggested we do Dawn of the Dead. I didn't know which one he meant, but I'm going to do the sweet Zack Snyder remake version because
Okay.
I do not like the original.
Okay.
And then my idea was I was thinking of doing the film Trick or Treat, 'cause I haven't watched that in a while, and I think
Okay.
it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And Troy, you said you were going to reveal one for me right now.
That's right.
What's your idea for a horror film that we do on Halloween night?
Well, my idea changed because I think when we were going over the list of Halloween movies and I haven't seen Season of the Witch,
Yeah?
I'm going to say Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Yeah.
So there you go. We have 4 horror films, and then if we're feeling froggy for that Monday after our new Halloween movie ep, we might do the runner-up for that Monday ep. So we'll
Sounds
see.
good. Sounds good.
We will see. But there you go. We got some horror films lined up on the docket for our spooky Halloween season. We'll see which one we review down the pipeline. I'll put a poll up on our Twitter, so look out for that and vote for the one that you want us to talk about on Halloween night.
That's right. Good picks.
Good picks.
Good picks. But until we get to Monday where we do our revisit of our missed pilots,
Missed TV pilots. Test pilots.
I have been Troy to the Max Extreme,
I am JT3K.
and we are off.